Okay guys, just saying here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to be going over the AGL Goku Black banner unit. Now, I've heard a lot of talk about this guy being good, I've heard a lot of talk about him being bad, so I figured we could take him in the Legendary Vegeta event, and just as we do in most videos, and just kind of see how good he could be looking, because I feel like a lot of global players are probably going to be summoning on the Trunks and Vegeta banner as they are the best unit in the game. I think we did kind of solidify that statement with the previous video. And with that being said, though, you know, a lot of people are probably going to summon and manage to pull this guy. So, again, I figured we could do a showcase on him, just seeing how good he can be, and see if he really does fall into that mid-banner unit category, because I feel like a lot of banner units have been kind of mid recently. Obviously, a couple stand out, like the, there's the AGL Android 8, the STR Piccolo, and I can't think of any others, but I know there's probably a couple more better ones. But, I mean, yeah, just overall banner units have been kind of weird lately. So, we could see if this guy falls into that kind of wonky banner unit category, or if he's going to actually be a useful character to run in these difficult events. And, yeah, I mean, before we get into it, though, just make sure you guys like and subscribe. And, also, I mentioned this in the last video, but I did do a video, earlier in the year going over the celebration info for the Trunks and Vegeta. So, I'll leave a link to that up on the screen if you guys are curious about that. And, yeah, just if you guys are curious, we are on the Dokkan Wiki, too, because my private server has not actually updated the details for Goku Black, so I still wanted to go over his details, though, as I do in most videos, but obviously I just can't read it there, so we're just here. But we'll still cut to the Vegeta Showcase, or the Legendary Vegeta Event Showcase, when, we are done going over his details. And, of course, there's timestamps if you want to skip to that, so feel free to do that. And, yeah, let's just go over his kit. So, starting off with his leader skill, it is Future Saga, category Ki +3, HP, attack, and defense plus 130%. Not really that good as far as leader skills go, but considering he's a banner unit, I guess that's not a horrible leader. And then for his super attack effect, he gets 30% attack and defense for 1 turn. He causes supreme damage to enemy and seals super attack. So the attack and defense is nice, and then the sealing is really cool too, because it makes it to where in Super Battle Road he can have some use, or honestly just in any event where you can seal. Because sealing is still a pretty useful super attack effect. And then for his passive, he gets attack and defense plus 100%, and then he gets an additional attack and defense plus 25% with each attack received up to 100%, and then he gets attacks effective against all types starting from the turn in which the character has received 5 attacks, and then he supports Future Saga for 3 Ki and 40% attack and defense. So, pretty solid kit. I mean, 200% attack and defense in total once he's fully built up, combined with the defense he gets from his super attack effect. I feel like that's going to put him at some pretty solid numbers, especially because he's AGL, right? Because he has that 5 additional, so you could just be getting more additionals with this guy. And speaking of that, I do suggest you go full additional with him, because the 30% defense right here, if you get that twice, that could actually probably help you tank double digits in some of these hard events. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty solid passive. He's supporting, he gets super effective against all types, and a pretty solid amount of attack and defense, so not really anything too bad right there. And then jumping into his links, he has Cold Judgment, Fear and Faith, Nightmare, Prepare for Battle, Dismal Future, Big Bad Bosses, and Fierce Battle. So, a couple here obviously stand out. Stuff like Cold Judgment, Big Bad Bosses, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle are all giving you a lot of stats or just very common links. So, those for sure are pretty good. But even stuff like Fear and Faith and Dismal Future, and even Nightmare, I think stuff like that, you'll still get active a lot of the time, as long as you're running him on a Future Saga team, of course. So yeah, and he does support Future Saga, so I would see you running him on that team a lot, right? But yeah, overall, pretty solid link set. And then in his categories, he has Realm of Gods, Patara, Future Saga, Time Travelers, Inhuman Deeds, Corroded Body and Mind, and Worldwide Chaos. So, I mean, pretty solid link set, or categories, excuse me. Patara kind of stands out because that is, I think, the best leader skill, right? I mean, because this guy does not have a 200%, but on Patara, he gets the 180% leader skill, as you saw in the title and thumbnail, because I am running him on a 180% team, because like I said, he does not have a 200% leader skill. So that is probably the best team to run him on, and he does have a lot of help on there with the Goku Blacks and Zamasus and all that. So I think Patara is probably the best team to run him on. Future Saga, he could probably have some use on, and Time Travelers, but other than that, I don't really know if you're going to be running these teams that often. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, with all that said, that's pretty much been the unit. Let's go ahead and jump into the Legendary Vegeta event. Okay, guys, so we are here in the Legendary Vegeta event. We've got a very, very bad opening rotation with him, as we are only going to have Prepare for Battle and Fierce Battle active, but I mean, it is what it is. It's still a somewhat good rotation, I guess, because 2 out of 7 links is better than nothing. But yeah, we're at 120k defense start of turn, which is very, very bad, but I'll wait to judge him until we have a good rotation and we've taken some attacks and all that. So yeah, we'll do this really quick, just see what he's looking like after these 2 attacks. So we are 50% through his passive right here. So we have that 50% attack and defense out of the 100% that he gets from receiving attacks. And not really the best attack stat right there, I gotta say. And defensively right there, I mean, it's hard to gauge what we were looking like. We had that 50%, so that probably put us at like, what, almost 200k defense. And then with the 30% from super attack effect, we were probably like 250k defense. So for sure, not really the craziest. I would say turn 1, that is pretty unimpressive. But of course, he has to build up to really be good. So we'll wait to judge him until he has received those 4 attacks. And links-wise, we were looking very bad that rotation. Because keep in mind, this guy does have stuff like Cold Judgment and Big Bad Bosses, which make a very, very big difference in terms of this guy's defense. So without those 2 active, for sure, we could see a big, big drop-off in defense. So right here, though, we have a very good rotation. We're going to have 6 out of 7 links active, and we have the support from this guy. Now, they are kind of ideal linking partners, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. So, okay, so start of turn, we're at 313k defense, so a big jump up, actually. And this is not horrible, right? Because I believe I forget, literally, I just saw it. Are we halfway built up, or are we 3/4 built up? Anyway, regardless, it's not really horrible either way, because even if we get that 125% buff from the passive, that would set us at around, like, like almost 400k defense, right? Or like 370k-ish defense. And then with the 30% from his super attack effect, that would put us over 400k defense. So after everything's said and done, over 400k defense is pretty solid. Let's see what his attack stat is looking like right here, though, because, I mean, I think this is really going to show if the defense is good. So, so we got the 1 attack right there. And then 4.61. Okay, so actually that's pretty good. So 4.61 with the level of defense he's at, I'll take that. Actually, that is pretty good. And we did get the additional. So defensively right here, we're actually looking really crazy. But I forget. I don't know if we're fully built up. 3.8 crit. That's some good damage. But yeah, defensively we were looking very good right there, because we did get the 30% buff from his super attack effect twice, which is honestly just another reason I suggest you go full additionals with him. Because if you're taking him in these really difficult events, you're going to want him to get both of those super attacks off, just so you can ensure he's tanking the least amount of damage that he would. So, yeah, I mean, and as far as taking him in difficult events, I really don't suggest you take him in any events where he's type neutral or type disadvantage. I would say try and stick to where he's type advantage, because, of course, in a lot of these hard events, they are hitting very, very hard, hence the name hard event. So, for sure, you could struggle with him in those, but if you have type advantage, I think this guy could probably be tanking even super attacks. So, yeah, so 530k defense start of turn. Keep in mind, the support right here is crazy, but I would still say that's pretty good, because after the 30% on super attack, we're going to be well over 600k defense right here. And well over 600k defense with he's supporting and he's super effective against all types. I don't know, I feel like that's pretty useful. There's some use in that for sure. Maybe if you want to run him on the Vegeta and Trunks team, which of course they are coming out soon on Global, so I mean, a lot of you guys would be running that team primarily, and they're the best unit in the game, so you know, you're going to be rocking their team a lot. Maybe throwing this guy on there as a support, I think would for sure be kind of nice if you have like type advantage in the event. But a little over 4 million right there, so I mean, not necessarily the craziest, but I believe we were super effective against all types there. Actually, no, we only did like a 1 million damage to him, so I think we needed to receive 1 more attack, and then we were. But just keep in mind, if we had that 1 more attack, we would have been, and we would have done a lot more damage right there. So yeah, but we got the fusions off right here, which is pretty nice, because we got some healing going on. And what does the next rotation look like? Okay, so this next rotation is actually going to be crazy, because we're going to be, yeah, we're going to have a lot of support. But I think we're still going to be missing Cold Judgment, which is kind of a crucial link, again, like I was saying, because it's 25% defense, and 25% defense that's a big, big difference, especially when units are getting defense on their super attack effect. A little bit of defense could go a long way. So yeah, but I mean, overall, I would say pretty good so far. I think this guy isn't as good as like STR Piccolo or the AGL Android 8, but I would say he's for sure a lot better than like the Tech Gohan and Gohan and Krillin that we saw during the Worldwide celebration, or I can't think of any other bad banner units. Man, I'm just blanking on banner units today. I don't know what the heck that's about. But yeah, anyway, overall, I would say he is a very, very good unit so far. And I would say for sure has a lot of use on a lot of Future Saga teams and just villain kind of teams. But more specifically, villain Future Saga teams because of that support, of course. So 400k start of turn defense. Yeah, that's not really the craziest. I don't know. I mean, let's see what he's looking like right here. If he can get a pretty solid attack stat, I would say a solid attack stat with like, what is it, 500k defense, a little more than 500k defense, is pretty nice considering he has that going for him and he's supporting. Okay, but over a 5 million attack stat right there, super effective against all types, so 4.1 million damage right there, pretty solid. Again, I just really think you're going to want to be running this guy type advantage and these difficult events because I think he would get torn to pieces if he had type disadvantage or even if he was type neutral, because you got to remember, these hard-hitting enemies, they're hard-hitting. They are very, very hard-hitting. I'm not just talking about like, oh, you don't want to bring him in Cell Max because, you know, he has type disadvantages, he's going to get crushed. I mean, yeah, of course, because he has type disadvantage, but like, I don't know, even the Metal Cooler red zone stage and the Wicked Bloodline red zone, I don't think you're going to want to bring him in there either. Or I'm talking about the final phase, so the Metal Cooler core. You're not going to want to bring him in there either because, I don't know, I feel like normals are just, he's going to be taking way too much damage. But, I mean, for sure, type advantage. He could do some good tanking right there. And honestly, like I said, the support is nice. The damage he's going to be doing is going to be pretty decent. So, for sure, he has a lot of use just with that. But I don't really know how far you're going to be able to go with him in terms of running him in, like, crazy difficult event without type advantage. So yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you could still run him in Cell Max and win as long as you got crazy RNG. But yeah, so. Alright, so doing a lot of damage right here with crits. And on this next rotation, we're actually going to have a very, very good support rotation for him because we have a lot of support defensively. And links-wise, we are 6 out of 7 once again, so there is that. We're at 420k defense, so nice. That's a pretty good defensive stat right there. I would say post-super attack, we're going to be at, like, again, over 500k defense, so, I mean, pretty solid. We'll showcase this rotation right here with him, and then we'll do a nuking rotation with him the next time we see him, and then we'll probably call it on the video because there's not really much to showcase with this guy other than his attack stats and defensive stats when he's fully built up, because this guy doesn't transform, he doesn't have an active skill or anything like that, because he is a banner unit, so, I mean, not really too much to show off with this guy, but I did still want to take him in here and just see what he's looking like, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be pulling him, because obviously he is going to be featured on the new Vegeta and Trunks banner, and all that, so. And then, yeah, this STR Goku Black, man, he is crazy, he is crazy as well. I'll do a showcase on him and his counterpart, Vegito, when they're closer to Easy Yang on Global, which, I mean, they're still going to Easy A here in a couple weeks, right, because the celebration does start the 28th, so, I mean, yeah, but they're pretty crazy, but I'll do videos on them going more in depth about everything they're doing when they are closer to releasing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Goku Black is probably a little bit worse than the Vegito, but I mean, they're both still crazy. But I don't know. I feel like just in terms of use and everything, the Goku Black probably is a little bit less consistent with just being, I guess, good. Because the Goku Black has to get that finishing blow to become, like, really, really crazy. I'm going to skip this because I don't care about this. But he needs to have that finishing blow to be really crazy because he gets extra attack and defense when he gets it. But the fact that you have to cater around that, so you have to make sure he gets the finishing blow, can be very, very tedious and kind of annoying. So I feel like the Vegito Blue probably just provides a little bit more use because, of course, you still have to get the super attacks off. So in events where, like, you know, the enemy is sealing or something like that, that could become problematic. But, I mean, most events don't do that, so I still feel like majority of the time, the Vegito Blue is probably going to be a little bit more useful. But the Goku Black is still amazing. He's supporting, and, I mean, look at that, 372k defense, and he's getting 50% defense on super attack, so he's still crazy. But this isn't the STR Goku Black showcase. This is the AGL Goku Black showcase. And, yeah, 358k defense. Again, not really anything too impressive, but we'll see what he's looking like after we do the nuke kind of rotation with him. I don't know, my brain just blanked right there. But yeah, I mean, post super attack, I think we would be over 400k defense, which is a little bit lower than we have been, but keep in mind we don't have Cold Judgment and the active, so we could be looking a little bit better. But a 10 million attack stat, pretty solid considering it's super effective against all types. And you know, he's supporting. He's at a reasonable level of defense. I wouldn't say he's looking like crazy defensively, but he's looking somewhat good. And yeah, I mean, overall, just a very solid unit. Not really crazy, just kind of solid, right? I wouldn't call him mid because he is supporting, and support units just in that of itself make them kind of good because then they just instantly have value. Because they're support units, especially when they're a support unit like this guy, where he gives 40% attack and defense and that 3 key, and he's supporting Future Saga, which is such a good category. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, that has pretty much been the video. Again, I mean, there's not really too much to go over with this guy because he doesn't really have an active skill or transformation or anything like that. You just have to build up with him and then showcase him. So yeah, but that has been the video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if there's anyone else you want me to do a showcase on, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.